Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. I know I missed it last week, but I'm definitely not missing it 2 weeks in a row. So, as always, I'm gonna wait for everybody to get up in here so we can get started and tell you the reason and the purpose of the Q&A Sundays. What's up, Dennis? How you doing? Yes, you're first for sure. You are first. As always, let me put my Cash App there because when I don't, people ask, what is it? So let me make sure I put that up there. Yeah, that's the Cash App. Just scroll it. No, I'm going to change that. Let me edit that because I want that to be savings. So we're going to wait for everybody to get up in here. Get on up in here. MyDebt.com. Let's put it there. There we go. It's better. All right. What's up, John? Dennis says, I'm at 1,800. Hope you're doing well. You're good? Yeah, 1,800. I mean, what are you talking about? 1,800 left? What do you mean? What does 1,800 mean? Man, what a time we're living in, huh? Crazy time. Talking about the lockdowns about to happen again. What's up, Jewel? Hello, Alex. Glad to see you back here on a regular basis, Jewel. Hope everything's okay and everything's straight. Negative 1,800, he means. Okay. 1,800 left. Gotcha. Okay. Almost to zero. Ain't that crazy? Too bad you can only celebrate it here. Hey, man. What's up, man? I'm almost to zero. I got $1,800 left. The slaves will look at you like, what are you talking about? Why are you happy and smiling about that? Matter of fact, why are you even telling anybody? I'm so ready for the I'm so ready for the lockdowns. And I always tell people this, and I got some friends I talk on a deeper basis too, right? Being out of debt, I'm an observer now. I don't participate in it. When I was in debt, I was participating. Now I'm outside of the debt matrix observing, right? And so it's crazy. I love it too. I've been talking to people about you. I'm very close to getting them consults with you. Appreciate it, Jewel. Well, you'll know when you hear that pause, Jewel, when you make them make that pause, you'll know they're listening. But if they're waiting for you to shut up so they can speak, they're not hearing you. So, but I appreciate it though, Jewel. Thank you very much. I'm starting to get younger and younger people are reaching out to me. It's crazy. They're slowly starting to recognize that math is timeless. Math doesn't care about how old you are or what year it is or what century we're in, et cetera, et cetera. Math doesn't care. Math is just math. LJ, these debt slaves are all over the place. So crazy. I saw PlayStation and Xbox on sale. They are sold out and they are at triple the price on eBay. They do slaves so dirty. Now, so not only, first of all, slaves are paying $500 retail price for the PlayStation. That's already bad enough. Slaves don't know that. If they knew the real cost of what it costs to make a PlayStation, they would be very upset at themselves, right? They would be totally upset at themselves. But imagine a slave paying triple the price for an Xbox. Boy, I tell you. What's up, Nicer? All right, let me introduce myself. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see. see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and financing everything that goes down in value and just can't figure out why they're still living paycheck to paycheck. Just can't figure it out. Man, it can't be this car note. It can't be. It can't be that I have an 84-month car note. It can't be that, right? Anyway, that's where I lived for the first 40 years of my life until I found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the math that you learned in grade school and apply it to your finances, and you'll always win with money. I said to Dave, it can't be that. It can't be that easy. Dave said, yes, it is. I did it, and now I'm free. Now I've been more free than I ever have been for the first 40 years of my life, because that's what age I woke up. 40, that's 10 years ago. And I've been so free that I've been helping others see as well. And how do I do that? I expose what I call the glitches in the debt matrix. And the glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make mathematical sense, but yet people keep doing, right? So what I do, I show you the debt, I show you the glitch. And what a glitch really is put it this way, unconscious, there's two types of slave, unconscious slaves and conscious slaves, okay? Unconscious slaves don't trust mathematics. Conscious slaves are slaves that were once unconscious, but now since they trust mathematics, now they are a conscious slave because they are now doing whatever it takes to get out of being in the negative and stop being a slave. You got to be, in order to be financially free, you got to get to zero and above, right? Anyway, so what I do is I expose the glitches in the debt matrix to unconscious slaves. Okay, what's a glitch in the debt matrix? Okay, add up all your savings, add up all your debts. Yes, including your mortgage, student loans, car payment or car balance, tickets, 7-year bills, debts you believe are going to drop off in 7 years, blah, blah, blah. Add them all up, right? And then go savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Here's the glitch. If you know the math is true and you still don't believe it, that's a glitch, because you're looking at the math, you added up yourself, you're in a deep, deep negative, but you don't believe it because you live in a nice house, you're driving a nice car, and you have a nice job, right? But you're looking at the number and it's a deep, deep negative. This is the glitch. If you don't believe the number that you see, if you don't believe that that's how much money you have in your life, even though you know the math is true, it matches on your calculator, and you say, I still don't believe it, that's the glitch. Okay, that's the glitch. Got it? That's how it works. Okay. If you believe you are a homeowner once you sign a 30-year mortgage, that's a glitch. You're not a homeowner. You're a slave, right? Now, according to, like, let me give you another example. According to the Bible, Proverbs 22:7, the borrower is slave to the lender. So if you have a mortgage, the bank is the lender and you are the slave. Okay. You are not a homeowner. So according to Proverbs 22:7, that means it's saying that you're a slave, but for some reason you don't believe it, even though it's saying you are. That's a glitch. See how that's how it works. All right. Mr. Bell says, hello, question. How can I build wealth with 5 to 15,000 saved and no debt? I always say the best investment is a paid off house. Okay. Don't invest in anything outside of yourself. So let me explain that to you so you can clearly understand. Okay. Your living expense will be the largest monthly expense until the day you die. Your rent, your mortgage will be your largest monthly expense until the day you die. If you put all your money and pay off your house as fast as you can, you will have just eliminated the largest expense that for the rest of your life. You just eliminated it by just having a paid off house. You will never, ever have rent and or mortgage again for the rest of your life. So while all the millions of people around you simply believe they're homeowners, that's just a feeling, you will be one. So while all the millions of people around you are continuing to pay rent and or mortgage, you won't. That's the best investment that you can make ever for the rest of your life. It will pay you. It will pay you returns every single month. How? While millions of people are paying rent and or mortgage, you're not. Period. That's it. What's up, SOBC? What's up, Ty? What's going on? Now today is it's Q&A. Oh, let me put this up here so you guys can it's about you guys today, okay? So questions, personal finance questions. Maybe you got some questions of me. Anything I will, if you ask me a personal finance question, I'm going to answer the question to you mathematically, okay? Math and money are one. The only thing that can separate math from money are feelings, how you feel about it. So let me give you an example, okay? So if I asked you, how do you feel about 1 + 1 = 2? Does it make you happy, sad, jump for joy? Does it make you want to get out? Does it make you feel good for the rest of the day that 1 + 1 = 2? No, it just equals 2. All right. So if you ask me a question, and if my answer is mathematically correct, it doesn't matter how you feel about my answer. Okay, just make sure you understand. It doesn't matter how you feel about my answer if my math is correct. All right. Shout out to Zeke again for the $4.99 super chat twice. Thank you, sir. Does a mobile home 5-wheel trailer count? It all counts. And that's a great question, Mr. Bell. Let me explain something to you, okay? Great question. Slaves with mortgages will look down on a person with a paid off mobile home or a 5-wheeler. They will look, but it doesn't matter. They're slaves. They don't even know what they're saying. Slaves with mortgages don't realize they are renting from the bank. They believe, since they don't have a landlord, they believe the bank is not their landlord. So if you have a paid off, you got to remember, if you have a paid off mobile home, 5-wheeler, whatever, and somebody tries to speak as, hey, that's a wasted investment or that's for poor people, you turn and ask them, you say, do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, you stop listening to them. They have no idea what they're saying. Those are what you call unconscious slaves. They have not that's called slave splaining. Everything that comes out of their mouth doesn't make mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. CENTS. All right. So great question, Mr. Bell. Appreciate you. These are great questions. I want those questions to come. You can come up and ask. You don't have to get on camera. You can click on the link there and use your voice. But this is for you. This is for you to get questions answered from me for free. This is the only time you can get answers for free, or unless you just go through my videos and get them there. But if you want to talk to me personally, it's not free. Okay. But today is about you. All questions asked in here will be answered mathematically. You will leave knowing that my answer is mathematically correct. It will be up to you to believe it. That's the glitch. You just got to believe it, right? Slaves don't know that, like, put it this way. Slaves don't know that money doesn't exist in any form for slaves. Gold doesn't exist, silver, cryptocurrency, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever the form of currency is an illusion. Okay, that's not real. And remember, what I'm saying to you, everything I'm saying, I can prove to you. Okay, this is not a theory. This is not made up. I can prove to you with mathematics that gold doesn't exist. Silver for slaves. I'm only talking about slaves. Okay, not for people with money. With money, people that are financially free, it exists for us. But for you, for slaves, it doesn't. Okay, and I can prove it. It's not a theory. All right. What's up, Calvin S? What's going on? What's up, Brian? Bryce, excuse me. Bryce, hello. Now, if you got a question, you can throw up a super chat or you can jump on and participate online, but we're only going to go as long as there's participation. So and I got an hour max. Okay. So if there's no participation, we're going to go an hour and then we're going to cut it off. Okay. That's it. I'm not going to be on there for like 3 hours just talking to myself. I talk enough. But if you're new to the channel, I want you to understand something. If you're new to SMD, okay, this is like a family. All right. All answers, all personal finance questions will be answered by me or other SMD family members mathematically. You will leave knowing, that whatever I say is mathematically correct. Carlos says, hello, LJ. Is it better to invest in your home and make 600 from renting rooms or pay off the mortgage? Well, if you're renting room, you're talking business. Okay. If you're renting rooms and you have customers, that's different. Okay. That's totally different. I'm only talking about personal finances only. Okay. But I can tell you one thing. For example, let me give you an example, Carlo. Say like you are getting a mortgage to rent rooms for business. Like you're getting a mortgage, you're gonna put it under an LLC, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna do all the business stuff, right? You're probably asking yourself, what type of loan would be the best loan what type of mortgage would be the best mortgage to get to buy a home to rent the rooms out? Only the best mortgage offered in the United States of America. So whatever one that is, that's the only one that you will accept. If you cannot qualify for that mortgage to buy the rental home and blah blah blah, you're not ready. Period. That's it. That's the only. If you can't once you walk into the bank, walk into the biggest bank in your city and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a mortgage to buy a house so I can rent it out for rooms and blah, blah, blah," right? You say all that. The bank's going to say, "Oh, you want that one? Yeah, here's the requirements." And then you're going to go down the list. If you don't meet those requirements, you're not ready. You don't come back to the bank until you do meet those requirements. That's it. Quinty says, "What's up, LJ? Dave Ramsey does not agree with people getting mobile homes. What's your opinion on that?" Well, when Dave Ramsey says that, he's saying that from an investment perspective. Okay. I'm saying this from a majority perspective. I'm saying this to you. Don't take advice from people with mortgages about your mobile home. Now, if you're talking from Dave Ramsey perspective, I'm 100% sure that Dave Ramsey's house is paid off. That's why he's saying to a person, a mobile home is a bad investment, okay? Because it's from his perspective. But if somebody say like somebody lives in Dave Ramsey's neighborhood, but they have a mortgage, and they're telling a person with a paid off mobile home that it's a bad investment, you don't pay attention to slaves, because that's a slave telling you that. Damn, Mr. Bell, thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man. 99 super chat. Thank you, sir. Okay, thanks, man. Love your content. I was listening to your dating minus debt video, and it was so profound because now being free, I couldn't imagine tying myself to anyone with debt. Keep up the good work, bro. Hey, I appreciate it. The younger you are, the better it is. Because if you listen to this information, especially my dating minus debt, I'm going to save you court dates, divorce lawyers, false reports, domestic violence reports, all that stuff. I'm going to save you from all that because you will never date a slave. Okay, I'm going to save child support payments, fighting in court, who's going to get the kids on the weekends and blah blah blah. I'm going to save you from all that. I have. That loan is for slaves. NACA loans are for slaves. Let's put it this way so everybody in the room can understand something. If you do not qualify for the best personal mortgage in the United States of everything, okay, put it this way. Anything under the best mortgage in the United States of America, anything under that is for slaves. So so you guys will understand this. Nobody in America gets a financed house on sale. The sale price, if you go in the neighborhood and you see a house for sale and you see the sale price on the stuck in the grass, that price is only talking to cash buyers. If you don't have the cash, the sale price of that house does not apply to you. You need to know that right off the bat. Nobody gets to finance anything on sale, let alone a house. Okay. All right. Knowing this, if you need to get a mortgage, you still decide to get a mortgage, you do not accept anything less than the best mortgage offered in the United States of America. Period. NACA, no PMI or other fees. If you believe that, you're a slave. All they do is now I don't know NACA for sure, but all they really do is just for PMI, they take the P and then they move it 2 steps to the left and then they call it no PMI or MIP. No, I'm sorry. They take the M, they take the M and they take the P and jump it over 2 spaces to the N and call it MIP, mortgage insurance premiums. So now they can legally say, hey, we don't have PMI. Well, if you look at the paperwork, they don't, but they do have MIP. I'm not saying NAC has MIP, but I'm just saying that's what they do. If they just rearrange the letters, they can legally say you don't have PMI because it's called MIP, mortgage insurance premiums. If you understand money, if you understand money, it'd be very hard for a person, for you to sit down and literally sign mortgage papers, tie yourself to the bank for the next 15 to 30 years. Let me make sure I'm saying that correctly, okay? It would literally give me hives to sit down and sign paperwork to the bank to say, hey, bank, you own me for the next 15 to 30 years. There's no way. I couldn't do it. What's up, Gabriel? What's going on? Reigning woman, hello. Now, again, I'm going to keep putting this link. We're only going to go an hour if there's no participation, all right? Recently, a 55-year-old woman in conversation told me she has $100,000 in student loan debt. I walked away. Thanks for saving me from disaster. You're welcome. Young men, I hope you guys are listening to this. I really hope you're listening to this because let me tell you something, young men. Let me tell you something. Don't fall for what's going on. Like you just got to have sex with every woman you see. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's not true. I don't care what other dudes say. Oh man, you should be doing. No, don't do any of what they're saying. As soon as you hear somebody say that, you turn to them and say, do you know how much debt you're in? If they say, I don't know, that's why they're saying the things they're saying, because they have no clue. They're slaves. They're slaves. So I promise you, once you understand how this works and you find out, you get with a woman and you think you're about to have sex, you feel like you're about to have sex with her and ask her, you find out once she has $100,000 in student loan debt, you're not going to forget protection. You're not going to fall in love. You're not going to think this is the one. You're going to say, hey, what are you going to do about that $100,000 in student loan debt? If she turns to you and say, oh, that's one of those forever loans, you're not going to see her again. That's going to be it. You won't even risk having sex because you don't want to accidentally get a slave pregnant and legally tie yourself to a slave. That's not going to happen. I promise you. You'll never be too drunk. You'll never be too high. Oh, I wanted to feel it. Blah, blah. That will never happen. Thank you, Mr. Bell. Listening to you speak is like watching a stripper in the club, man. Keep that's funny. Oh shit. I don't know. I don't know how that compares. I don't know how that happens, but you know. Oh man, that's funny. What's up, Andre? What's going on, man? Yeah, that's Hall of Fame Super Chat show is. Thank you, Mr. Bell, man. Appreciate you, man. That is funny. But I'm a different kind of stripper. You're like, damn, I ain't gay, man, but damn, that dude is. I can't stop listening to him. I can't. Oh man, that's funny. Any questions? I'm here to answer your personal finance questions mathematically. Now, I understand what I'm asking you to do, okay? I'm asking you to unlearn everything you've learned financially up to this point in your life. I'm asking you to unlearn it and trust math because living in the credit world, math doesn't make sense. Okay? Nothing makes mathematical sense in the credit world. Nothing. Well, not for you. Not for you. Okay, businesses, yes. For you, no, it doesn't make any sense. But for business, yes. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, don't be shy. I won't. I won't make you feel bad. Yeah, I'll try my best to help you remove your feelings from what I'm talking about. Okay. Is it necessary for one to have two cars that they own, not finance? um, if you're in a relationship, if you're with a person, but singly, I don't see any reason for two cars. I wouldn't have. Me personally, I have absolutely no purpose of two cars. None. Zero. Absolutely no purpose to have two cars. Me personally, right? And you know, so crazy. This was so funny. Like when I hear slaves say like this, they always they always want to ask you, "Hey, where do you live?" And I'll say where I live. Oh, that's why you can afford to live there. I live in the most expensive city in the United. Well, move. Why? Okay, then are you bragging? Are you telling me you need to move? I have no idea when slaves tell me that. Oh, it's three times expensive than that here. Well, why you live there? Then move. Ty says, "I'm listening. Thank you, sir." The young, the younger you are, I hope you listening, man. I'm gonna change your life. All you gotta do is listen. You will be. Tell you what, if you're listening to me, get a house, even with a mortgage. All right, just get the best mortgage in the United States of America. Pay it off as fast as you can. You will become a millionaire by default. Okay, you will become a millionaire by default if you're in your 20s or your 30s. Now, don't listen to slaves that say, "Oh my God, that's impossible to own a house in your 20s and 30s." When you hear slaves talk like that, let me tell you something. They're only talking about themselves. Nobody knows about your money except you, especially slaves. Because you got to remember, money doesn't exist for slaves at all. No, in any form. In any form. Cryptocurrency, all the multiverse. Have you ever just sit back and wonder why things that I'll tell you what, when you're a slave, you don't really understand it. So I'm gonna tell you a glitch. When you come across things that don't make sense, that's usually a glitch. So when you go across cryptocurrency, you think about cryptocurrency, right? And then there's about 50 different flavors of it. Does that make sense to you? That doesn't make sense to me. You know why? Because it's an illusion. If you have student loans and you think you're investing in cryptocurrency, that's an illusion. That's not real. That's fake. Not even the money in your pocket. If you have student loans, not even the money in your pocket, not even the money that you think you have hidden somewhere, buried somewhere, hidden in a cabinet, put in a safe, it doesn't exist. It's not there. You know that change you have saved up in a bottle for rainy days? That doesn't exist. It's not there. You think it's there. It's not. LJ, what do you think about dating someone who is in her 50s and is debt free but has no retirement savings? I would, because you got plenty of time to stack for retirement. Retirement is what you deem it. Retirement is what you deem it. If you're in your 50s and no retirement savings, I don't have no retirement savings. I spent it all. All that retirement that I saved up while I was working, I spent it. You know what I spent it on? Me. I have nothing in retirement, nothing. Well, retirement in a way that you're used to thinking about. Oh, you got to have a 401k. No, you don't. That's a lie. That's an illusion too. Let me explain that to you. So some of you guys that are listening and think you've been putting away money in retirement. Okay, I'm gonna show you that you haven't. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus that, yes, including your mortgage, yes, including your student loans, yes, including your credit cards, yes, including your car payments, all of it. And then I want you to go savings minus debt equals how much money you have to contribute to your 401k every single 2 weeks or every month. Okay, this is going to confuse you, but just stay with me here. Add up your savings and add up your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have to contribute to your 401k. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, that's a large negative number. Yeah, you can't. That's impossible. You can't contribute to your 401k while your finances are in the negative. That's impossible. But why do you think you can? That's a glitch. You can't. That's 100% impossible. But if you believe you can, you believe you have retirement. See what I'm saying? Voila. Is it best to buy a house once you are settled and you want to live in that house forever? Yeah, I wouldn't buy a house to where I knew I was going to die. Okay. I absolutely love living in South Carolina. I'm 100%. I don't know if this is going to be my final stop, but if it is, I'm cool with buying a house here and these living out my last days in South Carolina. I'm absolutely cool with that. Don't 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 fall for the thing that you have to buy a house. You got to have one at this age. If you don't own real estate, you're a loser. That's an illusion because you got to remember who's telling you this information. Anybody that's telling you that you need to buy a house, you need to get real estate, you need to ask them, do you have a mortgage? Yes. Then don't listen to them. Personally, and personal finance only. It's different when it's business. I'm only talking about personal finances. Only people with mortgages want you to have them too. You think if I owned a house with no mortgage, do you think I would suggest that you get one? I wouldn't do that. Why would I do that? Why be settled? The whole world is yours. Yeah, you don't have to settle. How about a spot in Italy, France, Japan? Exactly. Carlos says, I watched a YouTube video where a guy openly said, I spend my money after my car payment to modify it. I was triggered by it and unsubscribed straight away. Yes, that's the gift. As soon as you hear, Carlo, as soon as you hear somebody say something that don't make mathematical sense, especially when it has to do with money, you tune them out. You don't hear them anymore. That's called slave splaining. Once you pop, you can't stop. Sure can't. So I'm gonna make sure you guys understand something. This is a double-edged sword. Once you understand, once you cross over, once you go from an unconscious slave to a conscious slave, there is no going back. You can't change your mind. You can't say, "Hey, fuck it. I like it the way it was before." You can't do that. That's impossible. Nick says, I currently live with my parents. I contribute to the house by paying rent, but they treat me like sheezy. Okay. When I bring up the topic of moving out, they guilt trip me. What should I do, LJ? Great question. Very great question. Very great question. Hmm. I would move because the reason why I would move, once you get out of debt, you understand your time and your peace is the most valuable thing on earth. I love my peace. I love my peace. And if anybody is disturbing my peace, they are immediately removed from my life. Immediately. I don't care how much it costs for me to do it. It's worth it. Every penny of it's worth it. So if they're treating you like shit, it's time to move. And you tell them, hey, white, because you better believe they probably treating you like shit, but they're used to you paying that rent. And then when that immediately stops, it's going to change, but they're going to think you're not serious right now. That's why they're treating you like shit, because they don't think you're serious about moving out. When you got to make up in your mind, do you want to continue to be disrespected by your parents? I know you love them. That's cool that you love them, but they're disrespecting you. The only person that needs to know you're being disrespected is you. It doesn't matter if they know it or not, if they don't feel like they are, none of that matters. It's time to move. And then you tell them, don't leave the house. Don't leave the house mad. Don't leave the house and say, you guys pissed me off. You say, I'm leaving you guys. I'm leaving this house because you guys disrespect me. That's why I'm leaving. So they know that. Who cares? Who cares about their guilt trip? That's their problem. Every time they start throwing out a guilt trip, you say, hey, why are you saying that? That's your problem. That's not my problem. My parents are immigrants, so they have the whole someone needs to take care of us stuff, and they call me ungrateful. That's their problem. You put it like this. If this is how you got to look at it, Nick, you always got to look at the obvious. Okay? If somebody is literally treating you like shit, the only person that needs to know is you. Do you naturally treat people like shit that's helping you out? No, I wouldn't. How come they are? Because they don't know they are. Most parents believe because they're your parents, they're allowed to be able to do that because they say stupid shit like, oh man, I raised you, I fed you, well, that's what you were supposed to do. I didn't ask to be here. I know a lot of people are not bold enough to say this to their parents, but that's what you need to say to your parents. Did I ask to be here? Did I ask to be on earth? Of course you have to feed me and clothe me and take care of me. You brought me here, but that doesn't mean you get to treat me like shit. Yeah, I believe what Jules saying. They're gaslighting you for sure. LJ, let's have lunch sometime in January, Myrtle Beach. Lunch is on me. Okay, cool. Ruth Chris it is. Lunch at Ruth Chris. You better believe it. Let me know. Hey, you know that lockdown is coming. A secondary lockdown. I don't know if we're going to be able to. Be not a slave to anything, neither person, place, or thing. Nothing. And when I say I'm going to buy a house, I'm not going to, let's put it this way. I'm not going to buy my house personally. Okay, let's just make sure that's clear. I'm not going to explain that, but I'm not going to buy my house personally. All right. Andre says you will be better able to help them if you move out. Exactly. I hope you understand what he says. Entitled. What's up, Walter? What's going on? The whole why pay rent when you can pay a mortgage. It's very naive, as you'll have to fix water heaters, the roof, find leaks in piping, replace HVAC systems, which means more debt on mortgage. Yes. slaves with mortgages slaves with mortgages believe they're somehow saving more money than the person that's renting. No, they're not. Slaves, first of all, a slave, they're renting from the bank. Okay, that's the bank's house, slaves. That's not yours. On top of that, on top of being the bank's house, you have to maintain the bank's house out of your own pocket. People that rent, all they got to do is call up the landlord and they come and fix everything for free. That's the difference. But you pay, all because you think you're a homeowner when you're not. Leroy says your peace of mind is worth a piece of admission. It may be cheaper to live with someone, but it will cost more of your sanity. Sure, well, you leave, man. You leave. I don't care who it is. You leave. It's about what you want, not what they want. Because when they explain why you shouldn't leave, they almost likely say I, which means the reason they want you to stay is about them, not your well-being. Yep, you better believe they want you to stay because you're paying the rent. Believe that. They know it's coming. They just trying their longest to prevent it. What's up, Dave? What's going on? Rating Woman says, yeah, it's possible that they think he should be on his own anyway. Moving might improve the relationship. It might, well, it is not might, it is. You're going to have your peace of mind, period. You are welcome, Nick. Spain is locked down until next May. Whoa. I got to look that up. I didn't know that. Thank you, Jewel. Spain. Oh, I've noticed doing things the conventional way doesn't take you to the next level. No, doing it conventional way is doing it like the majority, the slaves. Slaves believe that's the only way to buy a house is with a mortgage. Slaves are the only ones that believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house. That's a slave mentality. They are building equity. If let me tell you something. If you're a slave with a mortgage right now, that's what I want you to. And you believe you have equity in your house. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals your equity. Let's take that one more time. Take your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance equals your equity. All right. Ty says, my income has tripled since last July. I've saved a considerable amount of cash for debt payoff, but I've also spent $1,700 on DoorDash dinners since. God damn, you got to stop doing that. Holy moly. You sure better stop doing. If your debt is not paid off, you're financing all your DoorDash dinners. So you think you're paying $1,700, but you're paying way more than $1,700 because you're in the negative. You actually have no money to buy any DoorDash anything. So when you buy DoorDash, I want you to remember you're financing that food. Okay. John Doe says, how can we copy LJ like 1,000 times, then send them out to the world? People I know don't realize that debt is ruining every facet of their lives. Sad. You know what, John? It's like even though I'm sharing this information, I also know that it must be this way. Okay. Every economy in the world runs on debt. Okay. It's mathematics. So once you understand this knowledge, it won't matter where you go in the world. If you go to a different country, you just walk, you settle in, you say, okay, what's your money here? How does it work? Okay, obviously it runs on debt. So let me see. Okay, you guys do this taxes for that. Okay, I get a tax break if I do this. It's all the same, just slightly different. That's it. Jill says you could pay me to DoorDash. Oh man, that's a lot of money. The borrower is slave to the lender. If you have a mortgage, the bank is the lender and you are the slave. Okay, that's in the Bible. You got to ask yourself, how come you don't believe Proverbs 22:7 that's in the Bible? Okay, especially if you're a religious person. How come you don't believe it? How can if you've been calling yourself a homeowner, knowing that you have a mortgage, and you look up this verse in the Bible and you clearly see the borrower is slave to the lender, how come you believe you're a homeowner? You know why? Because all your slave friends around you are doing the same thing you are. You guys all are slaves playing to each other. You guys all believe you own homes that you don't. You all believe that you own the equity in a house that you don't own. You want to be free? You better stop following slaves. Now you see how I say slaves with no feelings involved? You know why? Because slaves are choosing to be slaves. They're choosing not to trust mathematics. They're choosing it. If I can show a slave that they're not a homeowner, they really don't own the car, they really don't own property, they really don't. If I can show them mathematically and they still don't believe it, they're choosing to be slaves. Most people are in denial when it comes to debt. I just don't say anything. Retired. They're not in denial. They don't know. Slaves are unconscious. They don't trust math. The reason why they're unconscious slaves is because they don't trust math and they don't know they don't trust math. You know that no one, the instructions, LJ. You know that no one, the instructions. Okay, what are you trying to say there, Andre? You know that no one, the instructions. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You probably left out a word or something, or I'm reading it wrong. Ty says, if I have 50,000 in debt and I came up on 40, should I put 40 towards the debt and just be negative 10? Okay, that's a great question. That's a great question, Ty. Let me say it to you the mathematically correct way. Okay. What is 40,000 minus 50,000? 40,000 minus 50,000 is negative 10,000. You can't buy nothing. You have no choice but to put it on the debt. Why do you have no choice? Because you're negative 10,000. What can you buy with negative $10,000? If you have 50,000 in debt, right? And you have $40,000 in cash in your hand. The 40,000 that you're looking at in your hand is really not in your hand. Why isn't it in your hand? Because 40,000 minus 50,000 is negative 10,000. It's not there. You have absolutely no choice but to put it all on the debt. Now, at that moment, this is a glitch. But if you choose to believe that the $40,000 is in your hand and you go invest or you go buy something else, you remain in the debt matrix until you're dead. That's how it works. You're welcome, Ty. Walter says Uber and DoorDash destroy your car. I work at Domino's and I deliver on the e-bike. That's the company's burden to maintain. Okay. Leroy says a 401k is just a savings account that taxes you if you decide to withdraw your cash, and you just have to hope you don't outlive the money. All right. Let me tell you guys something, okay? All right. All right. Now, this is a big red pill. It's hard for you to swallow, okay? 401ks don't even exist. It's not for you. You have no money. You're a slave. Slaves can't save for retirement. Okay. And I keep reiterating this to you all the time. These are obvious signs. Okay, have you noticed when you put all this money in your 401k and you save and save and save it, and then the economy happens, and the economy crashes, and then your 401k depletes. Okay. If that was your money, it wouldn't deplete. Okay. So say like you had $50,000 in your savings account and then the economy crashed. Do you still have $50,000 in your savings account? Yes, because it's yours. You understand? It doesn't matter what it won't. If you have $50,000 in your savings account and the stock market crashed, you're still going to have $50,000 in your savings account. Okay. That's the difference. But since slaves don't know that they don't even have money to put in a 401k, they're just made to believe that it's real and it takes a loss automatically because the stock market, whatever, slaves, whatever. They do you guys so dirty. You have no idea how dirty they do you, but you guys are choosing it. You guys are choosing it. I want you guys to understand that. You guys are choosing it. What's up, Reality Game Design? John Doe says, how many people on the stream has more than one person? If one they can talk to about getting out of the debt matrix, I have nobody. There is nobody. Well, I'm not going to say anybody. That'll be a big ego. We are very far and few in between. Let's just put it that way, okay? There's not many of us. This is how SMD SMD was born. This is the only spot on YouTube that you can come and get the answers you need. This is the only one. This is the only one. You probably hear me saying, you probably new to the channel and say, oh man, he's bragging. No, I'm not. I'm not bragging. It's 100% true. And I can prove it. Go search. No, you prove it. Not me. You prove it. Go find another channel on YouTube like SMD. Go find one.
You prove it. Go find another.
Rising High, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, man. How you doing? I can hear my voice in the background. I don't know if you can mute that.
Turn the YouTube
That's
off.
on or something.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm just getting back on my feet, and I know I got a lot of debt from credit cards and stuff I wasn't able to pay.
Sorry about
that.
What
would be the best way to try to attack that?
Well, 1 second here. Let me turn on some AC for a second.
Oh, wait a minute.
I got to turn on my AC for a second. Sorry about that.
Oh.
You need a plan. You need a plan, and that's what I do. You can't do it by yourself. You need a okay. So first of all, you need to know step number one. I'm gonna take you through some steps. Step number one, you need to know down to the exact penny of how much debt you're in. Do you know that answer?
No. That's
step number one. You don't do anything else until you know the exact answer of that question. Because I'm gonna tell you, you want to be a millionaire one day?
Yep.
Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to find out step number one, find out how much debt you're in. I'm gonna teach you how to count to 1 million. Okay, first I'm gonna teach you how to count to 1 million. Get your exact total of debt, and whatever number that is, that's the number you start counting to 1 million from.
Oh, from whatever the total debt is?
Correct. According to the laws of mathematics, in order for you to count to 1 million, you must start somewhere. Get the exact number of your total debt, and that's where you start counting from. That's it. But you need a plan. That's what I do. I give you the plan on how to do that. But that's step number one.
Okay.
This is what I want you to do so you can test what I'm telling you. I want you to take the time. It only takes like a few minutes, 30 minutes. You can log into Credit Karma and see that, right? I want you to get the exact total debt number, okay? I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. And then I want you to ask 20 of the people closest to you around you and say, hey, do you know your exact total of debt? Do you know your exact total of debt? I guarantee you none of them will know. Every single one of them will not know. You'll be the only one. You will be the only person that knows.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been trying to get myself around people that you know, are more financially literate than I am.
You don't have to. See what you're saying? First of all, I want you to stop saying that. You want to be around people that are financially more literate than you. You know why? Because you don't know who they are. You can't see them. You can only go by what they show you. If they have a nice car, if they have a big house, or they live in a nice neighborhood, you automatically assume that they financially know more than you, correct?
Correct.
All you have to do is know mathematics. That's all you got to do is trust mathematics. So if you come across somebody and they have a nicer car than you, this is what I want you to say. Are you making car payments? If they say yes, they're not more financially savvy than you. They're financing a car.
Makes sense.
If you have a Honda Accord and they have a brand new Bentley and you guys are both making car payments, you guys are exactly the same. You guys are not different. Nobody's better than the other. You guys are both below zero. If somebody has a nicer house than yours and they're making a mortgage payment, they don't own that house. They're the same as you. It doesn't matter. It's not their house.
They're just borrowing it.
Especially if they're calling themselves a homeowner when they know it's not mathematically true.
It's only true when they actually have the deed.
Correct. I mean, like, put it this way. The very reason a person is making payments because they couldn't afford to buy it. See, that's why it's self-explanatory. If you're making payments, it's because you couldn't afford it to buy it.
Now I understand why my mom will always save wherever it was she was trying to get. She would save before she got it. She never would have a payment.
Let me tell you something. You want to be financially smarter than millions of people in the world? I can give you that answer right now.
What's that?
Always remember this statement. If it doesn't make mathematical sense, It doesn't make financial sense. CENTS. If you always trust math, no matter what, when it comes to your money, you will be smarter than millions of people in the United States. Financially smarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The math that you learn in grade school. Nothing higher than that. 1 + 1 = 2. 4 + 4 = 8. 10. 5 - 10. 5 - 10 = 5. That math. That's the only math I'm talking about.
Oh,
That's it.
it's not really that hard then.
It's not hard at all. Do you know what 1 + 1 =?
2.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I
for
guess I'll
example, let me
start
give you an
finding
example.
out what my debt is.
Let me give you an example so you can understand something. So say like
Okay.
you went on a car lot and that car was on sale for $20,000. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. If you finance that car for 84 months, do you think you got it for $20,000?
No, probably more like 30.
Exactly. Does that math make sense?
Not at all.
Then the answer is no. Then you don't do it. That's it. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. You just have to know that. That's it. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but always
It
trust
is.
mathematics and you will win with money, always.
Now I wish I had waited to buy my car.
Did you just buy a car? When did you get it?
I bought it 2 years ago. Well, I'm still lease. What do you call it? I still have payments on it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions and I want you to answer honestly, okay?
Okay.
Do you know the interest rate on your loan?
Yes, it's 3.5.
How many months are you financing?
Ooh.
If you don't know, say I don't know.
I'm thinking, but I don't know off the top of my head. No.
Now I'm gonna say something to you that I really want you to understand something, okay? Number one, only slaves finance cars. Number two, only slaves have no idea how long they finance a car. Only a slave would do that. Only slaves finance things that go down in value while it goes up in value for the bank at the same time. Only slaves do that. You want to get rid of that car? You say, I'm not paying for it no more. Come pick it up. How many more years you got left on that car?
Like 2.
If you want that nightmare to stop, just say, hey, bank, I'm not paying on it no more. You guys can come get it. That's the kind of sacrifice you would have to do. If you're not willing to do that, you're gonna be a slave until you're dead.
Mm. Yeah, that is a hard pill to swallow.
It's a hard pill to swallow, but savings, put it this way. When you go get that large negative number, when you see how much debt you're in, that's the price of your slave papers. You want to see how, just log into your Credit Karma and see your net worth. That's the price of your slave papers. Are you willing to pay for it? If you're not willing to pay for your slave papers, you're gonna be a slave until you're dead. You can pay off that car. You're right. You can work hard and pay it off. But by what you're describing to me, you don't know how long you're paying on it. That's a bad sign. That means you are paying well over what that car is worth. I can clearly hear that you're upside down in that car.
I think you might be right.
You paying gap insurance?
Yep.
Gap insurance is for slaves. You got to ask yourself, how do you know I was paying gap insurance? Because I can hear something you can't hear.
Man.
That's here. Let me tell you how the gap is created. When you finance something, it goes down. Imagine an arrow going down. Okay. The car's in the middle. Okay. Say the car's in the middle. There's an arrow going down that represents the car going down in value. There's an arrow going up that represents the interest that the bank is making on the car loan. The space between the two arrows is a gap for the price, the actual price of the car. This introduced gaps, and that's where gap insurance comes in. Only slaves do that.
Man, this is a come to Jesus moment.
I want you to recognize something else. Do you recognize yourself pausing for a long time? Are you noticing yourself?
Yeah,
That's called the glitch in the debt matrix. You're trying to comprehend what I'm saying to you, because you know the math is right, but you don't understand why you're just now hearing it, or why it's hard to believe it, or whatever. That's called the glitch. That's why you're pausing.
Gotcha.
How old are you?
It is kind of 43.
Okay, you're young, man. Still young. Don't let slaves make you believe that 43 is old. Don't do that.
Oh no, I'm
Okay.
built to last.
All right, cool.
Oh man, I got some financial soul searching to do.
It's just math. You just don't make it more difficult than what it is. Like, you got to look for something, you got to search with some. No, all you got to do is just do the math. And once you see the math, the hard part is to believe it. That's going to be the difficult part. It's going to be a big, gigantic red pill to believe that mathematics. But once you believe it, you're gonna go from an unconscious slave to a conscious slave. You're not going to hear this anywhere else on YouTube. You're probably thinking, how can I make such a claim? Because everything I'm saying, I can 100% prove. No doubt, this is not a theory. I'm not making it up. I'm not kind of heard it from somewhere. Everything I'm saying, I can 100% prove with mathematics.
I wish I heard this about 10 years ago.
I want you to tell you something else. Everybody says that. 20-year-olds say that. 30-year-olds say that. 40-year-olds say that. 50-year-olds. Everybody says it. Be glad that you're hearing it now, because you can change it right now. I didn't wake up till age 40. I'm 50 now. I didn't wake up till age 40. I woke up and said, I came across Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, take the grade school math that you learned and apply it to your finances and you'll win. And that's what I did. Now I'm free. That's it.
Wow. I don't have much to say.
I told you, that's step number one. Okay. Once you take the time to gather every single penny of your debt, every penny. And once you do that, you're ready to come see me, and I'll show you the rest of the way.
Okay.
I'll take your hand and say, you go this way, because I already been there. So I'm gonna save you a whole bunch of steps. You go this way, you stop here, you stop at that place, and then you take a right here, and then you take a left here, and you take a right here, and then that's how you be free.
Okay.
There's my website scrolling at the bottom right there. If you want to, you schedule a consultation, and right there, anytime you're ready, no rush, when you're ready.
All right. Well, appreciate the come to Jesus moment.
That's funny. No, it's just math, man. It's just math. That's it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you for jumping on, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Later. Love it, man. Good questions, man. Good questions. Andre's right. You know what, Andre? I know it is. For now. I know I have a gift. Okay. I want you guys to understand, even if you guys listen to background, I know I have a gift. Okay. You better get it while it's cheap right now. You better get it. Only buy cars in cash. Believe that. Finance car, not bought. Exactly. I know. It's so funny. I'm sure to slaves, I sound like a drill sergeant, but all I'm saying is, only thing I'm saying is mathematics. That's it. I'm not saying anything fancy. Okay. I'm only using the math that I learned in grade school. That's it. Yeah, that's true. He can do a lot. But the sound, when I'm saying Mama Max, this is what I'm saying. He said he didn't know how many months he was paying. And a lot of people are way upside down in their cars. And sometimes they let you transfer the debt from take the depreciation from a previous car and add it to the new loan. It's a nightmare. What's up, Reality Game Design? What's going on, man?
Transfer the debt from take the previous car and add it to the new loan. It's
Reality Game Design.
What's up, Reality Game Design? What's going on, man? Transfer the.
Hey, how you doing, LJ? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you.
Design. What's up, Reality Game?
You're gonna have to put some headphones
Hold
in.
on, LJ, I can't hear you.
Hear me all right? I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to update everybody on the situation.
Can you mute me in the background?
All right, hold on. Is this better?
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can.
Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Okay, yeah, I can now. Go ahead. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, I can now.
Awesome.
Hey, this is what I want
so
you
my
to do. Make sure if
situation
you're watching a
changed.
YouTube video, I
wanted
need
to
you to
update
stop.
the,
I need you to turn that
the
off so we can
family.
hear each other this way.
I ended up leaving out of my folks' place. Okay, yeah, I turned it off now.
Can you hear me? You're hearing me really late for some reason.
I can't hear
I'm not
you
sure
though
why.
for some
I'm not
reason.
sure what you're doing.
Hold on, I'm gonna log out and then I'm gonna jump back in.
Okay. All right. Not sure what was going on there. All right, let me see. Yeah, I'd return the car, but it sounds like he's way deep upside down. That's the only reason why I'm saying just let the car go. When people finance Hellcats, the dealers go, that's one hell of a deal for us. Exactly. They drive off hey man, that's a good buy. And then when they drive off the lot, they're waving at you. Goodbye. I know the pauses is crazy, wasn't it, Andre? Pauses were real crazy. He said that reality slaps hard. It does. It does. You have to feel the pain of change. Sure do. Thank you, Jewel. Yes, we will. Jose says just work part-time job and pay that car off fast. I know people be saying that, but nobody really understand. Nobody in here knows the balance of that car loan. If you find out that he owes double than the car is worth, that'll be completely idiotic to work and pay that car off. Let that car go. There is no way I'm paying double the amount of money for a car that I'm upside down in. Andre says it's not about paying the car; it's about the freedom. I'm set apart. Says would have freed more slaves if only they knew they were slaves. Exactly. They don't know they're slaves. They don't know they're slaves. Do I drink? I guess if I have to ask the question, the answer is no. No, I don't drink alcohol. But I guess why I pause is like sometimes when I go out to dinner, I have a beer. All right. I like Stella, but I don't bring beer home. I don't do that. So what's up, arms dealer? Carlos says it's like watching The Matrix and watching someone take the red pill. The Matrix is real. Okay. It's just a debt matrix. What's up? Reality, you back? You good?
Watching someone take a red pill. The matrix is real. Okay? It's just that matrix. What's up, Gally? You back?
Yeah, I'm back now.
All right, let me pause. Pause where you're. I'm not sure where you're hearing
But
me because I was
yeah,
hearing
I
my
just
voice
wanted
first,
to
and then you
update
start
you on my
talking.
situation or whatnot. So I ended up moving after all because I couldn't take it at my folks' place. I did offer to pay rent. They didn't want it. It just was a bad situation. So I ended up leaving the state after all. I know that you recommended for me to kind of stay there, but we just couldn't deal with each other. But it ended up being the best thing. And I'm out of state. I got a little job, still waiting on the corp or the federal thing to kick off, which is going to take some time. But it's just a crazy story. Everything that you're talking about, because I'm back in the matrix, reinserted right now. I hear this every single day, and ironically, uh, the company that I actually started with are getting bought out. So I will probably be there. I was using it for a stepping stone anyway. But my particular section will probably be there for a year. But I could tell the people that prepared and the people that weren't prepared, because people have been in the company for 15 years, some less, but all the principles that you talk about on your channel or whatnot, I hear every single day. And when I came out here to out of state or whatnot, I just had a discussion because right now I'm just in an Airbnb, which is great because I don't have to pay any expensive rent. I started a plan to seriously start tackling these student loans because I think I mentioned that to you. It's like $32K is what I have, so it's like made in two loans or whatnot, 110 and basically 120. So I started a goal to basically pay the first loan, the smaller of a loan, to 10 in about 5 months. Because my overall goal is to pay this in at least a year, 12 months, about to be 11 months now. And I was talking with the host of the Airbnb, just a casual conversation of whatnot with the election and all, and the hope they're trying to give all the slaves for the student loans, whatever. And she still had student loans. So after hearing that, I was kind of like, I'm going to take care of my stuff, whatever I have to do. So every single paycheck, all my income streams, everything from I get from my business, I've been throwing at this loan. And I dropped a couple thousand on it yesterday. And I'm just basically counting down. And literally what you said, it's just math. It's just, there's a number. And like I said, I don't have any interest because I had been paid all that off, and I'm taking advantage of the no interest, and I'm literally just counting months at this point.
I'm glad to hear that you're doing, and I'm glad you're able to hear, like, for example, you said the lady with the Airbnb, right? Here she is. You said she's the owner of the Airbnb. So if she still has her student loans, right there should tell you that she doesn't really own the Airbnb. It's mortgaged. How do you know that? She still has student loans. It's impossible to own a property with student loans. That's impossible. So you know that she doesn't own it. So you're definitely on the right track, for sure.
So you know that she doesn't own it.
You're gonna have to mute that background, man, because I hear it. I'm not sure what you're doing, but you got to either put in some headsets or something because you're hearing me very late. I think you're listening to me on YouTube.
But anyways, LJ, I'm not gonna hold you up. I did want to because I don't know, on my side it's weird. I'm having a hard time hearing you. I think you can hear me. I can't hear you. I don't really know why. But I did wanted to put the group on. There's an app. It was actually on Shark Tank, and I actually been using it the past couple of weeks. It's called Change Ed app. So basically what it does is you link this app to your bank account and it rounds off every purchase that you made
That's
to
for
$1
slaves.
and it puts it in an account. And then it applies that every $100 amount to your student loan. So if you're already making extra payments, you can just kind of leave
That's
this
for
app running on
slaves.
your phone and it applies
Don't use
it
it.
to the loan. So that might be
Don't use
something
it.
for people that, you know, they're not really looking, you know, or looking at or whatnot. You know, if they're already trying to tackle their loans, but just wanted to just give that piece of information to people or whatnot. But like I said, I'm about to jump off because YouTube is not being friendly with me for some reason today. But yeah, man, I appreciate everything you do. And yeah, I'm definitely taking your advice.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on, man. I'm not sure what was going on, but first of all, Reality Game, that app is for slaves. Anybody that needs an app to do something with their money, that's slaves. Only slaves will do such a thing. Only a slave will need an app for it to round up something, so they'll pay something. That's for slaves. They're not putting in all that money for you for free. You are paying for that. I'm not sure how you're paying it. But you're paying. It's not free. They're not going to put in all that time and money to invent an app to give it away for free. That's not happening. That app is for slaves. Any type of app that takes your money and rounds up to the nearest dollar or the nearest cents, and then they put it somewhere and blah, blah, blah. That's for slaves. Don't do what slaves do. Those are slave apps. Those are slave apps, man. Don't use slave apps. Great questions. Any other questions? Here's the link if you have any questions of me. Yeah, I'm not sure why you would plug such an app on the SMD channel. And I'm not saying that you did something on purpose. I'm just saying for two reasons. That app makes absolutely no sense. Zero. Well, whether you knew this or not is even more important, because if you're using it, you're being a slave. Nothing impresses me. This is what happens when you become free. You don't see cars, you don't see houses, you don't see real estate, you don't see people's clothes, you don't see what they're driving. I mean, you don't see the brand names of their clothes. You don't see none of that stuff. You just see, like, if they're wearing a Gucci shirt, right? You know what I see? I see a shirt with some letters on it. If you see a woman with an expensive purse with a symbol on it that says, you know, go Dolce Gabbana, whatever. You know what I see? I see a purse with a symbol on it. The symbol means Dolce Gabbana. Okay, whatever. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean you're rich. Doesn't mean you have money. Doesn't mean you're somehow better than the person that doesn't have a purse like yours. It doesn't mean anything. Any other questions? Apps that track all your spending. Exactly. How come you're not tracking your spending? Why you need an app to track your spending? How come you just don't do it? It just doesn't make any sense. Only slaves sign up for such things. China is taxing people working from home. I would be surprised if they start doing it here. Well, they do. If they're working from home, especially if they have an employer, the tax is being taken out of their check. They're being taxed. It don't even matter where they're at. Mm, mm, mm. What's up, Fred? Right, I agree with the hyphy on that one. I know. I don't need an app to tell me how to pay my student loans. Mm. The app is only connected to your student loans account. Not. It doesn't matter what it's connected to. Reality Game Design. It's a slave app. That app is for slaves. And this is what and Reality Game Design, this is what I strongly suggest. Don't ever offer that app to anybody ever. Don't ever say out loud that you're suggesting that app to anybody. You're telling people that understand money that you're a slave. Don't do that in public ever again, ever. Dave Sincere says, man, LexisNexis, I don't know what any of that stuff is. Those are consumer reporting agencies, that collect any and everything about you. And that app is another way to fuel their data source. Oh, it's all about data.
Hey, what's going on, LJ?
What's up, man? I looked at his name. I thought, okay, it's got to be somebody funny.
Oh man, look,
What up, Snitch?
look, you know what? That's what I'm gonna put my next name to be. It's gonna be Snitch. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions here. First off, I've been watching that guy I told you about. Anyway, he was talking. There was some talk about Joe Biden taking off was like up to $25,000 off of people's student loans. And I was just my thing is I feel like even if he does that, right, like most people are not going to pay it. So if they owe like large amounts of money, it won't make a difference. Their interest will just come back anyway, and they'll get that money anyway. But I was curious what your thoughts are about that, about some $25,000 forgiveness thing. I was just curious what you thought about it.
In my opinion, it's a slave trick. Okay, they know millions of people are in bondage of student loans, so they're gonna believe whatever they're saying. So say like they did push through something, say, hey, we're gonna take off 25,000 of your student loans. They're gonna make it so convoluted and so hard to ever do it. You're gonna have to jump over this hurdle, crawl under this table. You're gonna have to carry this 50-pound weight over a 50-foot wall, and then you got to drag it. You got to swim with it through the sea of the Atlantic Ocean, and then you're gonna get $25,000 off of your student loan. That's what. If you can do all that, then they'll do it.
My logic was behind it was, what does it matter for a person that owes like somewhere between any large number of payments? I was like, what does it matter for them?
You're right.
Because
you're right.
Because
it doesn't matter.
They're not going to pay them anyway.
They're still not going. If you say like somebody had $50,000 in student loan debt, and they say, "Hey, here we're going to give you $25,000. We're going to pay off your $25,000 off your student loan." Guess what? They're not going to pay off the other $25,000. They're going to let the interest stack back up to $50,000.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was like, because. Yeah, so it's like, I was like, why? I said the only people that would benefit is if they had less than that. And I was like, even them, I'm sure they're going to be like a reason why they can't do it.
You're thinking too deep, man. Stop thinking so deep. It's a trick. Okay? That's all you got to say to yourself. It's a trick. You're going way too deep. You're going way too deep.
Okay, so yeah, that was I was curious about that. The other thing is, your post on the PlayStation thing, I was just like, wow, that was pretty crazy. I was showing people, I was like, I told everybody was like, man, that's insane. I was like, man, I feel so bad that I didn't buy one, man.
I'm so bad I didn't buy 5 of them. I'm mad at myself. I should have bought 5 of them damn PlayStations.
even if they didn't work, I didn't need to open the box. I just need the box closed.
I would have had the receipt. I would have sent it to them, and they would have bought it from me. I would have sent them with the receipt. And if it didn't work, here's the receipt. Take it back to Walmart. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that exactly would have done. And they would have paid. I mean, I could at least think I could have made at least a good solid $1,000, $2,000 off them. I mean,
Oh,
people
I'd be
buying them
happy.
for
I just
30.
double my money. I just if I could spend 5 and make 12, hey man, that's easy money. I'm selling
Exactly.
while the greedy people are trying to get 1,700. I just want to double my money. That's double my money plus the taxes. So I get if it's $500 plus tax, I'll double that and get all my money back. So I don't pay nothing.
There are a friend of mine looked it up today. There are people selling them for those PlayStations for $25,000, $28,000.
That is the dumbest, stupidest nonsense I've ever heard in my life. But if somebody gonna pay it, hey, get that money. For real.
Exactly. I mean, like I'm only gonna think they're stupid if somebody actually pays it. That's going to be
Right.
the funny part. In the middle of a worldwide pandemic.
Would you think they're stupid if they bought it from you for 28,000? Would you think they're stupid then?
Yeah. But I mean, I'm going to take their money though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't think it's stupid with $28,000 in your hand. You'd be like, "Oh, you ain't stupid. Oh yeah, good job."
but after they walk away, I'm saying, "Dang, they stupid." Like,
yeah, exactly.
But they give it once they give me the money and I walk away and I'm gone. Yeah,
right.
They stupid. And then the last one I had was, basically I was wondering what your thoughts were on how to keep debt slaves from giving your phone number out and having bill collectors call you. Because I talked to you about this. So basically, this week, this past month, I've had this bill collector calling me. It's financial. It don't matter what the name is. Anyway, they were calling me nonstop. And the first time they called me, I told the person, it's the same person that was on my cell phone plan. Remember when I was giving out cell phone plans and stuff? Yeah. Same person. So they gave up my phone number this time to this debt collector. And so then they call. So, the first time I called them and said, hey, this person's calling, you might want to get up in contact with them. And then after that, they started calling me again, like, hey, can you call them? I'm like, look, I'm busy. Like, well, I just need you to call them. Can you do that for me? I'm like, look, man, I'm busy. I'll get to them if I get to them. Oh, okay, well, thank you. Then they called me. Then they were calling me and I stopped answering. They called me, left voicemail on my phone the first time. Then they left it on there the second time the next day. They called me like 2 or 3 times in a day. I was like, listen, man, I answered the phone. I said, why do y'all keep calling me? We can't get in contact with them. I'm like, that's not my problem. Stop calling me.
Did you agree to be a reference or they just randomly gave them your number?
I mean, I don't remember. But people can put your name down. You don't have to agree. Like I didn't sign anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't have avoided the call. I would have answered and I said, don't call me no more.
That's what I did. I finally answered them and told them, and they told me, they were like, well, that person put you down as a reference. So
what?
I was like, that doesn't give you the right to call me. Don't call me. And they were like, well, if you could just contact them, because we don't have a new number for them. Could you just call us? I'm like, could you just contact them and then we could just stop this whole thing? I'm like, you're going to stop now. Like,
you know what I would do? You know what I would do? I would call the person that they're calling for. And I would say to the person, hey, you guys need to contact these people. And you need to contact them, and I need you to tell them to stop calling me, else I'm gonna give them your number.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying.
That's exactly what's gonna happen. Because it's getting to a point where I was like, they haven't called me since, but and that was like Wednesday or Thursday they called me, and then they haven't called me since then. And I just don't like the idea. I was like, look, I pay my bills. I don't need you guys calling me about somebody else.
Way too much explaining, man. You're doing way too much explaining. I know. Hey, you get a pass because you knew on this side. Okay.
I am.
You're still in diapers. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. You're doing way too much explaining. I'm gonna say, hey, don't call me no more. And then I will reach out to dude and say, hey, man, so and so keep calling me. You need to contact them. If you don't, I'm going to give them your phone number. And go from there. If they get an attitude and say, oh, man, this and that, I'm going to say, okay, well, I told you. There's the number. There you go. Hey, you got it. Here's the number. This is how you reach them. They're gonna inconvenience me. I'm gonna inconvenience them. They can't do that. You're disturbing my peace.
Right. I was like, I mean, I don't want to talk to them.
No,
I mean, I just was curious how you deal with that situation.
that's
That
exactly
seems
what
like
I
a
would
better.
do. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I do.
because that's crazy right there. Well, OJ, I didn't have much. That's pretty much all I had, man.
All right, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for
All right,
jumping on. All
no
right.
problem.
Yeah, people. I don't involve feelings in business. I don't do that. It was only $10,000 he was offering, and Biden is promising he will do it for the first 100 days in office. Whatever slaves need to hear. Whatever slaves need to hear. I'm still working like they aren't going to do anything. That's how you got to stay, because they're not. You think they're going to release that many of their slaves? Slaves, they're not giving you any money, slaves, okay? They're just telling you what you want to hear. My goodness, student loan forgiveness, AOC and Maxine Waters are pushing. That'll never happen. Don't worry about it. They're already compromising lowering student loans down. No, they're not. They're just telling you slaves what you want to hear. You know why you guys believe it? Because you've given up on ever paying off the student loan debt yourself. That's why you believe it. When many people buy the PlayStation 5s, it just makes the stock market go up for some. It sure does. They're trying to get the debt to income ratio down for the millennials so that they can buy all these homes coming out of foreclosure and forbearance. Poor slaves. No different than when they lead cows to slaughter. They set up all these things, these trail gate things, so the cows can follow along. That's what they're doing. John Doe says, the problem there is even if 10K is knocked off the student loans, the people have not become financially literate, still dead slaves. They're still slaves. It don't matter. If you guys that have student loans, if you don't believe me, and this is what you got to be truthful to yourself. When the president said he's going to halt interest on the student loans, was that a reason for you not to pay them? Hey, the student loan interest has been paused. I'm not going to pay them. You probably thought that was the best time to not pay them. When he halted the interest on your student loans, that was the exact best time to start paying off your student loans. Not to not pay them, it's to pay them. 28, not 28,000, 2,800. Oh, must be talking something else. They'll finance the PS5 instead. Sure will. Can you imagine how many slaves finance the PS5? You got to be freaking nuts. The American people will pick up the tab if they cancel rent or mortgage and school loan. No, only the American slaves will pick up the tab, Mama Max, not us. We're financially free. We don't pick up the tab. The tabs are paid by slaves. John Doe's exactly there, giving the slaves hope that the loans will be forgiven. That's it. They're just giving you hope. Now, I don't really talk about politics, okay? And nothing that I'm about to tell you is anything factual. I don't know. I'm just making it up. All right. It's just something that makes sense to me, okay? I believe Harris is going to be president. Pelosi's going to be vice president. Okay? I believe they're setting up for Harris to be president and Pelosi to be vice president by default. That's what I believe they're setting up. Doesn't matter if you believe it. Doesn't matter if that's true or not. I don't know. But it just seems like that's where it's headed to me. Okay? Put it this way, this is me. Anything that is repetitively said to the majority, I know not to pay attention to it because it's a program, okay? So if something is being pushed repetitively, look here, see what this person's doing, see what's happening, that tells me not to look. Because if it's repetitively told to the majority, they're not talking to me. They should not be calling you, especially if your BK is not finalized, huh? John Doe says, this is crazy. What would American America become if we socialize everything? How about everybody stop working, give me a break? I wish people even stop talking about the economy changing into anything. That's never going to happen. Exactly. That's what I just said. Not if you're tax sovereign. Not if you're tax sovereign. The tab goes to slaves. Slaves pay taxes. Slaves pay the tab. Wait till you see a spaceship. Let them cancel rent, people slaves. Let them cancel rent, people slaves. Anyway, give them some relief for about a year. Do you know what it costs to cancel rent for 100 million people? Do you know most landlords have mortgages? Exactly. That's not true. That'll never happen. I don't understand why people think some receiving benefit. I don't understand why people think someone receiving benefits affects them. That's narcissist. Sounds like Republican Party, even though. See, when I hear Democrats and Republicans, you know what I hear? I hear left wing, right wing. Those two wings belong to the same bird. Okay. Left wing, right wing belong to the same bird. Okay, that's all I hear. All right. Doesn't affect me. Getting mad at your government, not your neighbor. They in the same boat. The government is us. They're not some separate entity. I want you guys to stop thinking that the government is some separate entity. Who works there? Space aliens? Who's there? Your cousin, your brother, your mama, your daddy. When you talk about the government and you know your family is part of it, you're talking about your family. If everybody is cashed out, taxes will raise unless you are tax sovereign like Andre. Money is not printed for free. Every dollar circulating is a loan from another country. The best place to improve your own numbers, not wait for the government. No, John Doe, money doesn't even exist. They're not. Check this out. There's no such thing as printing presses. They don't exist. Paper money doesn't exist. Gold doesn't exist. Silver doesn't exist. Cryptocurrency, none of it exists. Nothing's printing. That's a lie. All of it's an illusion. Okay, it's not true. Thank you, Mama Max. Appreciate you. Here for the slap in the face, young grump. What's going on, man? Nah, I paid my student loans off, bust my ass to do it. Sure did. I didn't even think about that app, data tracking your spending data. To be fair, I mean, everything on your phone does that now. No, that's different. One you're doing on purpose. One is not on purpose. If you get your phone and they're tracking your data, you really don't know. You're just getting your phone. But if you go download an app and enter your information, you're doing it on purpose. Lottery Guru says, LJ, I can't believe my own mother is really trying to guilt me to buy her a home. Unbelievable. I got so mad inside. No reason to get mad. You say, no, mama. Why not? Because I'm not. Get a Pixel phone, install. Oh shit, what the hell Andre talking about here? Get a Pixel phone, install Graphenios. All right, Andre, you're gonna have to explain that. I don't know what. First of all, to get people to cross over to a Pixel phone, that's gonna be hard as hell. Why a Pixel phone? And I'm all ears. I want to know what that means. Okay, why those two things? You can't just and Andre, you can't just say that and leave. You can't just fly off. You can't just drop something and fly off in your spaceship. Okay, you going? You can't do that. Oh, it's a browser for your phone. Maybe is that what he's saying? Now I got to look it up. Just a second. See if I can. Is it in the Play Store? Somebody look that up in the Play Store. See if that's in the Play Store. GRAPHENE. No, that's not the same one. Nope. I don't even know what that ain't in the Play Store. I know that. I don't see it. Yeah. Use VPN or Tor on your phone is not considered being anonymous. Ask LJ. He is an IT expert. You know what, you guys? I don't use anything on my cell phone. I don't use anything to block. I don't really. I don't. Okay, put it this way. I don't do banking on my phone. Okay, I don't have my bank app on my phone. I don't do that. I just never trusted that, so I just don't do that. If I'm gonna do banking, I do it on my computer at home. I wouldn't even take my computer out and use internet somewhere else and check my bank account. I just wouldn't do that. I just don't do stuff like that. If it in my mind, if it goes out in the air, it can be captured. I don't care what you think you have. If it goes out in the air, it can be captured. Not browser have to. Oh shit. See what I'm saying? Now, how many people even know what that even means? You got to root your phone. What's that mean? You still have a MAC address that needs to be spoofed and proxy server. Yeah, I mean, if you need to do all that, I guess you're doing something that you really need to be protected from. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like spoofing my MAC address and all that other stuff, and then go through a proxy server that's freaking in Germany somewhere. I don't feel like doing all that. So the app does have a maintenance a maintenance fee of $1 a month, so $12 a year, always a catch. It's for slaves. They call it a maintenance fee. I tell you. No, I'm not saying you're doing anything illegal, okay? I'm not saying that at all. All right. I'm not saying that. I know the purpose of VPN proxy servers. I know there's legitimate reasons for them, but the majority of people that do all that outside of IT, because like when you're in IT, I know why you need VPN. It's for security reasons, right? But you can also use it for other things too. Just like what he's talking about, mask your IP, mask where you're from, spoof your MAC address, blah, blah, blah. For those of you that don't know what a MAC address is, this is what a MAC address is. Every item that you use to communicate on the internet needs what's called a MAC address, okay? Think of it as a phone number. All right. You can, if you're not part of a network, you can't just pick up your phone and dial a number and expect it to go somewhere. That MAC address of your phone has to be somewhere on the network to recognize your phone as a device that's allowed to communicate on this network. All right. So if that MAC address is not part of a network, you're not going to be able to call nowhere, if that makes sense. Okay. You can't hide from the government. No, just stop doing it. You don't need to hide. That's a trick. Okay. Why do you think you have a social security number? You have to use your social security number almost everywhere. If you got to use your social security number everywhere, you're not hiding from anybody. Okay. In order for you to function, you need to use your social security number. That's a number that you need to function. As soon as you put it down, you're connected. You're not hiding from anybody. There is no need to hide if you leave. Exactly. Just leave. You think you're hiding in the debt matrix? No. All slaves think they're hiding in the debt matrix. You're not hiding from nobody but yourself. Speaking of proxy, is there a proxy for using your own money to get Is there a proxy for using your own money to get free? Oh, to get free. Oh, to get free. Leave to where? Leave to where? he said leave to where space. Uh leave to where? That's a good question. Hey, Andre, can you describe the place to Kahlo where to leave? Please let him know what color it is, how far it is, how big it is, what it smell like. Can you explain that to him, Andre? I appreciate it. What's up, Sharif? L, you have all this IT knowledge. You should do an IT show. No, I don't want to even talk about IT anymore. I'm done with it. I'm done. I am done. I don't even want to talk IT anymore. I am done. Oh, okay. No, okay, John, that's a good one. Okay, thank you for saying that. From an from a debt-free perspective, yes, I like that. I will do that. I will do that for sure. I like that. Thank you for clarifying that, John Doe. You never hear nobody hacking the Social Security database or credit bureau. You sure don't. I remember that conversation, LJ. Just get out of debt, my brothers and sisters. Exactly. I was having this conversation with Young Grump. You will never hear of anybody hacking the Social Security database where they house all the Social Security numbers. Nobody will ever hack that. Okay. Okay. If you did, you're going to disappear. No, or you're going to be working for an entity for the rest of your life. Okay. You'll never hear of anybody hacking the credit database where they house everybody's credit reports and credit scores. You will never hear anybody hacking that. That will never happen. Okay. Ever. They will always be able to hack user information, people's user credit card information, their home address, their social security numbers, but they will never hack the credit bureau's database itself. That will never happen. The only reason they ended slavery is because they realized they can get more from willing slaves. Well, no, slavery never ended. It evolved. Okay. Those that understand, everything evolves. They knew they couldn't physically enslave people anymore, so they did it mentally, and they did it to everybody. It's not just a certain race of people. It's everybody. Ask yourself how many countries there are on planet Earth. Exactly. How many countries are there? Actually, there is a proxy for everything, and I use them daily. But you have to be debt-free. You have to be debt-free to see or hear anything that Andre and I are talking about. You have to be debt-free. You can't see anything. Debt is the largest prison in the world. No walls or guards needed. All the slaves are in it voluntarily. So if slaves don't know they're slaves, you don't need guards, you don't need walls, you don't need anything. Slavery is alive and well. It just evolved. Every time I go out in public, I hear chains rattling everywhere, chains scraping on the roads, chains scraping on the floor in grocery stores, chains scraping along the parking lot of grocery store parking lots, mall parking lots, at the gym. They're scraping everywhere. You guys don't hear them? They're creating sparks. They got to be careful during the dry season because slaves can cause a spark with their chains and start a forest fire. They got to be careful of that, man. That's serious business. And guess who's going to have to pay to put that fire out? Slaves. I was thinking about something the other day. I was watching this First Amendment audit right on YouTube, right? And I thought to myself, there was, these where First Amendment audits is where they go out and they start filming cops and talking to them and blah, blah, blah. And right. And this one guy says, officer, you work for us. Your salary is paid by our tax dollars. So I'm your boss, right? And I thought to myself, I said, let me get this straight. Our taxes pay the salaries of police officers, right? And when the police officers get their checks or their salaries, right, their checks are taxed. So if their salaries are coming from taxes and their salaries are taxed, isn't that like taxes taxing taxes? Isn't that what it is? I don't know. That just didn't make any sense to me. So I was like, that's just weird. Okay, whatever. The first proxy is a good family lawyer. That's the first proxy. Yeah. Everyone needs to understand this simple math and understand natural law. We all would be better human beings. There's the laws of mathematics. You got the regular human laws. You go out and rob a bank, you're going to go to prison. You kill somebody, you got to pay. You break a law, you go to prison, right? Tax evasion, you break a law, you go to prison. And then there's laws of mathematics. 1 + 1 = 2. If you think 1 + 1 = 3, you just broke the laws of mathematics. That's not true. Okay. You don't hear him, Mama Max? Yeah, I hear him every day when I go out in public, just scraping along the cement. You know, you see somebody with a brand new car. I just like those chain. Hey, I want to pull them over and say, hey, you hear that loud sound? They'll be like, what? This is a brand new car. They're chains. Don't you hear them scraping on the back of your car? No? Okay, well, never mind. Any other questions? Any other questions for me? Never ended. Okay, it's official. LJ is talking esoteric. They can't hear him? Nope. I know they can't. Sure can't. I am speaking esoteric. They can't hear the words coming out of my mouth. They're like, what's he saying? The mathematical truth? You can't hear it? No. Why not? Because you're mathematically blind. That's why you can't hear what I'm saying. What is esoteric? Don't worry about it. I've never heard that word. I know you haven't. And I know you're not even going to bother to look it up. So don't worry about it. Any other questions? As you guys can see, you love what I do. You know what they hear, John Doe? This is what they hear. The Charlie Brown teacher voice. Wah, 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 wah. As you guys can see, I absolutely love what I do. This is not work to me. I absolutely love what I do. I love my life. I love, this is what, so you guys can understand something. I'm outside the debt matrix. I'm no longer a participant. I'm now an observer. I only watch what slaves do. I'm on the outside looking in. I just watch what you guys do. You guys are predictable. You know why? Because you don't trust math and you don't know you don't trust math. That's your pattern. They should create an app which tells people credit report when you point it at them. No, they will never get it. What's up, Steven?
What's going on, LJ? Another great show.
Thank you, sir.
What's up, S&D family? Everybody out there. Man, it's funny. After I got off the phone, off the show yesterday, I thought about something when we were talking about people that I share your information with. And I remember about a month ago, I had a conversation with my sister-in-law because I know I could talk to her. She'll feed the information over to my brother, right? So we were on the phone for about an hour, just chopping it up. And she was like, she was hearing everything I was saying. Like, he was like those long pauses. Like, she was like, dang, like I didn't ever look at it like that. And after we talked for this hour, she was like, well, I still want, even though I know she can't afford a house, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
She was like, I still want to have my house. I said, okay. I said, look, I said, okay, let's say you get a house. And let's say you paid a mortgage for about 10 years. Because I started talking to her about PMI.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, well, you know, if I pay on it for 10 years and I pass away, at least, the PMI will pay off my mortgage and my kids will have something. I said, okay.
He said
all right.
He said the PMI will pay off his mortgage.
Yeah. She was saying if she died, she believes the PMI is going to pay off her mortgage, right?
Oh, because he think insurance is for him.
Right.
Oh.
And now I said, okay. I said, let's say that's true. Let's just pretend like that's true. I said, think about it like this. Let's say you put in 10 years of making mortgage payments. You pass away and PMI pays off your mortgage. You get a house to the kids, right? I said, now I'm not going to cast no dispersion. I'm only going to tell you information based on the conversations you and my brother have had with me about your kids, right? Mm-hmm. I said, how many years? Let's say they don't have no mortgage payments because the house is paid off. Now all they got to do is pay the property taxes. Mm-hmm. How many years do you think your kids are going to pay the property taxes?
Right.
She sat there and thought about it. She was like, they probably won't make it. They'll think that they're living there for free. I say, exactly. Hey, that's exactly my point. And I say, here's what's going to happen. You didn't pass away. They didn't came and take the house. I said, guess what your kid's going to tell everybody? People going to ask, how did you lose the house? What happened? Mm-hmm. Man, before mama passed away, she didn't pay the property taxes.
Right.
And she laughed, which told me she believed it.
Let me ask you something, Stephen. Do you know what PMI is?
Well, from my understanding, that's what the private mortgage insurance is supposed to be for. If you've been, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know that for sure. I'm
gonna tell you what the fact is. Okay. PMI is for the bank.
Right.
They call it private mortgage insurance, so slaves will believe it's insurance for them.
Right.
Only slaves accept PMI.
Right.
So if you hear somebody that has PMI, or if they think PMI pays off anything, they're slaves because it doesn't pay off anything.
Right. But that's what people think, though. I know it doesn't, but I'm saying that's what people think.
Right. And I'm saying the reason why they think that, because the word insurance is in the statement, in the sentence of private mortgage insurance. That's why they call it that, because slaves will believe it's insurance for them.
Yep.
So if you ever hear anybody, when you come across somebody, Stephen, and you ask them, do you have PMI? If they say yes, that's all you need to know. That's a slave.
Oh yeah. I see it every day at work. Cause see, the department, the company that I work for, what we do is we actually we manage the home loans for the major banks. Like Chase and all them. Like, they don't have employees who come in day to day to actually track homeowners insurance and taxes for those home loans. That's actually what my company does.
Okay.
So when I look at a loan, I can go to a screen on any loan that I work on any given day, and I can tell if a person has PMI. I can tell if they have a FHA or conventional. So I see that all the time. But the PMI portion, my department, we don't track. We just track a customer's homeowners insurance and taxes, and then we do property claims for, like, if someone has like a flood or a fire, they lose their home some way. We do we actually cut a check and actually help the customer rebuild their home if they don't have traditional homeowners insurance through like Allstate or State Farm. Then since we manage the loans for the banks, we have a department that actually cut a check for the customer to pay contractors to rebuild their homes. So I see the PMI like I go to account, I see PMI on people's screen on their loan all the time.
Right.
And it's just that I don't work in that department to know the specifics of how it works. But I can just tell you, just from most people that I've talked to who have a loan with PMI, that's what they believe.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm telling you, as a SMD follower, there's nothing detailed you need to know. PMI is for slaves,
right?
And sometimes they'll change it. This is what they do. This is how they fool slaves. So the slaves that are getting hip to PMI, you know what they'll do?
Oh yeah,
they'll take the M and move it one space to the left and call it MIP.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because when I go to the screen where I can see it, that's exactly what is on there now. Instead of it being PMI, it's actually labeled PMI/MIP.
Exactly, and it's the same thing. They just do it to trick slaves. That's all. It's just business. I get it. It's business.
Yeah.
And if you got slaves thinking that PMI will pay off their house, that's a slave. They have no idea what they're talking about. Not a clue.
Yep. And I believe, because like I say, I don't think most people know what it is. So I think most people who think they know, they only know because they've heard it from some other slave.
Yeah, exactly. When you hear that, you go, hey, where did you hear that from? Oh, my brother's cousin's sister, second cousin told me that. Oh, okay. That's what I figured. All right, cool.
Yep.
But
yeah, that's what she believed. But I have forgot to tell you about that.
This is a woman. This is a woman.
Yeah, this was my brother's wife.
Gotcha.
And so I was giving her some information because I know that she'll follow through. And like I said, everything that I gave her, she was like, I watched the videos, and she was like, yeah, she believed everything because I could just tell, like you say, from the pauses.
Right.
But even after that long conversation I had with her, she still was like, even though she knows she can't afford no house, she's like, I still want to get my house. I said, and that's exactly what I said. Okay.
They should, you know what they should do? They should rename PMI to PFI, prepaid foreclosure insurance.
Right.
So when they get kicked out, you know how slaves think, oh man, if I just stop paying my mortgage, it'll take them a year to get me out of the house and blah, blah, blah. Well, they already paid for that for the PMI. All the years they pay PMI, they're going to pay for the bank to get them kicked out of the bank's house. They already paid for it.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right. Thanks for letting me hop on for a minute,
man. Appreciate you.
All right, I'm back in the group.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I think it's pretty smooth, man. The banks, I respect the banks. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's business. The banks are not tricking anybody. If you don't believe in math, the bank has a plan for you. Just put it that way. If you don't trust, let me stop saying believe. If you don't trust mathematics, the bank has an answer for you. If you refuse to believe that you'll never be able to buy a house in cash, the bank has a plan for you to become a homeowner. I promise. Okay. It's an additional slavery penalty on top of interest on the loan. Sure is. You're welcome, Nick. All right, you guys, we've been on here for 2 hours. We had a lot of great questions. What's the name that came on here, man? He had a lot of pauses, man. That was a great. God, who was that came on and had all those pauses? Hey, thank you, Arms Dealer, for joining. I appreciate it. If I didn't mention that earlier, thank you. I hope you enjoy the videos that I have up there already, and I do that. That's the more deeper stuff that I don't share with the free side. Okay, you're not gonna hear me talk like that on the free side. Okay, you only need to hear it over there. You're only gonna hear it over there. What's up, FIC? Hello, you there? FIC, you're on mute.
Yeah.
There you go. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Welcome to the show.
Man. Huh?
I said, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you, man. My pleasure. Man, I just want to say thank you for that, for the job you're doing, man. That's just wonderful.
Thank you very
especially for
much.
the
I appreciate it.
yeah, especially for the people who's looking for that service.
Yes, yes, it's my
I'm,
duty,
I'm
man.
yeah, because I'm telling you, man, I have been looking for that answer for a very long time. You know, yeah. I grew up in the Caribbean, and I know definitely that interest is a killer, because I remember in my younger years, I would always say, hey, I'm not going to take anything on hire purchase. Okay, I will go to the store, look at the price of it, and I will save until I have enough to make that purchase. And it becomes a bargain, like, during the Easter sale or the Christmas sale, when that purchase, they will reduce it by like $200. That would be like a saving for me right there. But for some reason, come to the America, and for some reason I got reprogrammed.
Yes, you're right. That's you said it perfectly too. You said it perfectly. Reprogram.
Yeah, I got reprogrammed, and fell directly into the matrix. Yeah, in the debt matrix. And it so happens that, well, I took a mortgage, and my thought was, hey, it's better to
own than rent.
to own than rent. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yep, that's
exactly.
the trick.
That's the trick. Because I was like, man, why would you? And it's everything that you express. It's like, man, why would you want to rent when you could,
when you can
have
own
a mortgage, to own, yeah, and you're paying it. But then I start looking into it. It's like, hey, as you explain, it's like, hey, if you have a mortgage, you have to do everything. You just, everything is still the ownership, that still is the bank, and you just making sure that you're taking care of that home for the bank. If you're not going to pay off that home, and I do a comparison, because of lately I've been spending hours just putting on numbers, and what I came to find out, like, if someone is disciplined enough to do, for example, you're renting a house, right? And if you're disciplined enough to think, okay, hey, let's say the stove or the range broke, how much it costs to replace?
Right.
$3,000. You as the renter, you put aside a special savings. You say, at the end of 30 years, this savings here is what I'm going to use to purchase a house. So you're treating the house, the rent that the house where you're renting, you treat it as though it's your house, right? So it's $3,000 for a range. You take $3,000, put it in that account. Whenever somebody comes to do the lawn, it's probably $200. Every time they come, you take that 200, put it in that account. And by me doing the calculation, after 30 years, and I do the calculation with those things, plus I'm even the land tax, where you have to pay, and any other repairs. I put a cost on that, and don't you know that? And I do it with roughly the same, like the mortgage might be, let's say, probably about $200 more than the rent. So by doing that, after 30 years, with my calculation, don't you know that the person with the mortgage is going to pay almost like maybe 2.5 times the house that they have, while they're stuck with that house. Now you could the money that you're going to save is almost the same amount or even more than them, and you could go buy a house that is probably 3 times bigger than what that person where you were renting and you guys were in this like similar neighborhood where they were. You could buy a way bigger house than them because of the money that you would have saved.
You know what? Let me put it this way. FIC. I'm gonna make it more. I'm gonna simplify this whole process to you don't even have to do any calculations at all. Okay. Cash is the only way to buy a house. There is no other way.
That's true. That's true.
So there isn't. So you don't have to compare to anything. There is no other way to buy a house except with cash. If they didn't buy it with cash, they're not saving anything.
That's true.
There is no comparison to anything. That's it.
Yeah, I got you.
So if they say, hey, I'm saving money and I did this and that, you say, do you have a mortgage? They say, yes, you stop listening. That's it. They're not saving nothing.
Yes. Definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, I know. And but LJ, I have something.
Yes.
I know. With the awareness, I have something that I want to ask you. How would you see? Let me see if I could word it in the right way. If you want to be a millionaire, you start from, your debt, from where your debt is. You add your savings minus your debt, and you start from there to go to a million, right? Now, how would you see? Let's say you have a mortgage, right? And you're working towards paying your mortgage off. So the mortgage is $200,000, and you're knocking it down. And let's say after 8 years, you come to zero. Would you consider the house? Was it an investment? What's your take on it? Was it an investment? Because once you get to zero, it technically propels you. Let's say the house worth $300,000. Now you got propelled $300,000 in the positive. So was that an investment?
A house only becomes an investment when you own it.
Yeah, okay. but so that's what I meant.
Yes.
Like
what I'm saying. Okay, let me put it. I'm gonna make it easier. Okay. Your living expense is your largest monthly expense, right? If you pay your house off, you've just eliminated your largest monthly expense for the rest of your life.
Okay.
While millions of people are paying mortgage and or rent, millions, you're not. So a paid off house will pay you returns every single month because you don't have rent or mortgage to pay. While millions of people do. So that's the investment.
Okay. I got you.
See what I'm saying? So while put it this way, so while millions of people are walking around calling themselves homeowners when they know it's not mathematically true, it will be true for you. While they just live in fantasy land, it'll be 100% true for you. It's just a feeling. For them, they just feel like they're a homeowner. You will be one.
Right. Well, that's the aim anyway. But I was just looking at it like with that saying that don't you want to get to $1 million? You have to start from savings minus debt, and then you take it from there. But I know once you pay off your house, then you not
add
really
you add that to your calculation. Whatever your house is worth, once your house is paid off, you look up the value and you add that to your net worth. Because so if you feel like your house is worth $400,000, now you need $600,000 to make it to $1 million now.
All right, there you go. Yeah. So that's what I was asking. Would you consider that that would you consider it like an investment?
Yes, an asset. A house only becomes an asset when you own it.
Okay, got you.
Yep,
Okay. I
that's
guess
it.
we pretty much saying the same thing, man. All right, man.
Mhm.
Man, LJ, just I want to thank you, man, because you know, like like you said, like when Christian find Jesus,
Mhm.
it is pretty much something similar to that. The way how I could express it, because ever since I got reprogrammed, well, which one I should say, reprogram. Well, ever since my program got changed, because at first
Mhm.
my mindset when I was when I was not here was
Mhm.
never to be, buy get anything on higher purchase. But once I got here, for some reason, my mindset
You got to
got
simulate
all.
it. You got to simulate.
Yes, right. so yeah, that got changed, and that's what got me into that debt,
Mhm.
because even though for some reason, because like I did went just to try, because I purchased vehicle already, but I did it with cash.
Mhm.
But for some reason, I even went into the program to just to try to see what it's going to be like to purchase to
Mhm.
finance
Mhm.
a car.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what I did was, I said, I don't want to tie myself to like 5 years. So before I do that, lease let me lease and see
Mm.
how that works.
Mm.
And
Mm.
then
Mm.
by me doing that, I realized, well, no, that's not going to work for me, because of two reasons. Once you lease, it restricts the amount of mileage. That was one reason why
Mhm.
I could not have done it, because you only could you lease that for a certain amount of mileage per year, or accumulative of the 3 years. You only could put a certain amount of mileage on it, or else you will have to pay extra. That was one reason. And then the other reason was, man, you have a new vehicle, and you try to park. You're in the parking lot. You're trying to find a parking space that is
Mhm.
away from everybody.
Mhm.
But but then once you come back, then there you see some ding and dents and.
Right. Right.
So yeah, that was the one of the reasons that kind of disencouraged me from, that thing. But
See,
then,
only like, for example, it doesn't matter how you finance it. It's fine. Leasing is financing. The other way is financing. But slaves don't hear what they say. They say, "Hey, which one do you want to do? You want to buy or lease?" There is no comparison.
yeah,
Buying
there's no
means
comparison.
buying cash, but to slaves, buying means financing.
Right.
And they believe leasing is not financing, but it is. They're both the same, but slaves don't know that. One is not better than the other. They're both bad. The slave owns, the bank owns them both.
Definitely.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, LJ, man, I'll give the floor to somebody, but man, you doing a good job, man.
I
I
appreciate
definitely,
you.
I definitely have to, make an appointment with you.
Okay. There's a
Sometime
website scrolling at the bottom there.
yeah,
Anytime you're ready.
yeah, definitely. I have
Mhm.
a plan. I have a plan going ahead. Like, I mean, I never really say much about it, but I have a plan going ahead to get out of the matrix.
Okay.
I'm conscious. I'm conscious about it.
Okay. So you're a
Also,
conscious slave now.
yeah, yes, and definitely I'm spreading it with more people, especially
Okay.
me being on here.
They think you're
Hope
crazy yet? Do they think you're crazy yet?
not much for the people, because I think I have a strong influence on
Okay.
the people that is around me. So,
All
you
right.
know, hopefully I could based on what I'm saying, I could get most of the people to follow me, because I strongly feel I have that influence on them. But I know
Good.
some
Okay.
wouldn't. Yeah, but I want a lot of people to hear it, especially people that come from where I came from.
Mhm.
Definitely I want them to hear, especially me being on your program,
Okay.
and letting them know that. But man, you keep up that work, man. There's a lot of people out there searching for that answer. There's a
Mhm.
lot of people out there. I could tell
And
you
it's
that.
so they don't know
So
it's simple. It's just basic grade school math. That's it.
yes, it is. Yes, it
Mhm.
is. But I mean, the metric is strong.
It is strong. It has to be there. Okay, I respect
That's true.
it has to be there. In order for me to be free, there must be slaves.
Yes, sir. I got you. I got you. Hey, well, thanks, man. I'll hop off right here.
You are welcome. Thank you, sir, for jumping on.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys, I'm about to wrap this up. Thank you, everyone. Andre, go ahead and spark up your spaceship and head back to whatever planet you came from. You don't have to tell us. It's none of our business. We can't get there anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can tell us. I don't know, whatever. All right, man. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate you all. Be looking for members only. Be looking for a video this week. Like I said, you guys know how I do it. Once I feel it, I'll throw it up there. I'll try to notify you guys as when I do it. I'll get it out there as much as I can or the way I can. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everybody, for participating. All right, there goes Andre. Woo, you know the sound of it. We just know the sound of a spaceship from TV, so I'm just making up that sound. Okay, we don't really know how. And I'm sure Andre can't explain to us how a spaceship sounds. So I just. All right, Aaron. Thanks for jumping on. Thai City Garage. John Doe. Appreciate you. Oh, shout out to Enigma for the $2 super chat. Thank you. I do not. I did sign up for one, but I haven't made it active. And the reason why I haven't made it active yet, because I don't know. My message, I'm trying to reach as many people as I can. If I restrict it and start charging, then I'm not going to reach as many people. But I'm not ruling it out, but maybe one day. I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't know. Anyway, not yet. I did sign up for one, though. I think I do already have SavingsMinusDebt name for the Patreon, but I haven't went into doing anything with it yet. So. There is no sound. Damn it. That TV just tricked me. See, TV got me thinking spaceships have a sound and they don't even have a sound. God damn it, TV. All right, you guys, man. You guys have a good evening. All right. Until next time. Later.